You know those days where you feel like your energy is being pulled in a dozen different directions? Today is a full teaching day for me. I have 3 classes back to back, and I'm going to show you how I manage my energy throughout the day without completely draining myself, using a little help from my garden. Welcome. My name is Lindsay. This is my first ever day in the life of yoga teacher / gardener, zone 3 gardener. So what that all looks like at this time of the year, how I sort of prep for many months down the road, and kind of what a full day of teaching looks like. So I've got 3 classes today and then lots of plant things to take care of once I get home. My secret weapon for these busy, high energy days is making super nourishing food. I grow a really big garden in the summer to feed us throughout the year. And right now in the dead of winter, I still have lots of veg in the cold room, the freezer, and a ton of canning to pull from. There really is something psychologically grounding and comforting about getting to eat these really nourishing foods on a busy day. So now that I'm packed, last dishes are done, it is time to get to class. One thing that I really want to focus on with my students today is strength and mobility in the shoulders and upper body. We spend so much time in our day hunching forwards, whether you're driving, typing, or just, hunching over your seed starting trays. The muscles in the chest end up very tight, and then the back body is overstretched to compensate. So today we started with lots of opening through the shoulders and the connecting tissues before exploring into some pretty strong heart openers that extend from the core. It's a powerful way to correct posture from lots of bending and forward folding. This focus is all about long-term stability as well as keeping good posture over time, and creates a lot of strength needed just for safely doing, labor-intensive tasks with good posture. These postures that we work through are very subtle in their activations, but end up being very intense because of the focus we're giving them. If you happen to be a gardener and you're finding that your upper back really starts to scream at you after prepping soil, digging in the dirt, that kind of thing, this specific routine is really, really great. It's a lifesaver for that gardener's hunch and those sore back muscles. Freshly back from teaching my first 2 classes, a slow flow and then a chair yoga, and it was so lovely. Today was the first day back after a little break starting our new session. So have a quick light lunch and then I head to my next one right away. And on my lunch in between my classes, kind of works out. I've got a coaching call to sit in on as well. So pretty full day. But a good one, my favorite one. On days like today where I'm using up lots of energy and coming and going and not really having a chance to properly cook or anything like that, I always make sure that I've done a really good meal prep. So yesterday, I grabbed a bunch of veggies from our cold room, from the garden from last year, and I made just a bunch of used bone broth, chicken bone broth, and then threw, a bunch of veggies in soup and some herbs, and so I've got that, and then some local Ukrainian sausage. It's really super delicious. So one of my meal preps, especially on a day like today, it's really cold out here, cold and windy, and so soup is just hitting the spot perfectly. I think meal prepping is essential for anyone, but especially if you're trying to balance, your side hustle, busy career with a hobby like gardening. If I hadn't prepped this, I'd be grabbing something quick, annoyed with myself because the quality is lacking, and oftentimes I just don't choose the healthiest option when I'm eating out, and I would then feel my energy and my mood really suffer later on. And it's interesting because we talk a lot in yoga about prana, or our life force energy. And when we talk about gardening, we're essentially cultivating the same energy. So eating this, it really feels different than just grabbing, anything. And it really feels like I'm putting high quality fuel in the tank. Another little tip for managing energy, especially when you're like coming and going, is of course making sure that you're really hydrated, but electrolytes can be really helpful. So I'm partial to just coconut water. This organic coconut water is really awesome, just straight up, not flavored, sweetened, or just like anything like that. Some of them kind of have some nasty stuff, so you just want to watch out for that. But yeah, it just gives you a really good hydration boost to keep you going. I am back from teaching mid-afternoon now, and this is definitely the point in the day where my energy starts to drop quite a bit. So I'm going to tend to a little bit of my starter plants. It is seed starting season, only just begun here in zone 3, so there isn't, as you can see, too many things going on quite yet. Mostly just a bunch of soil blocks, and just like, I was just looking, there's just a few things starting to poke up. But I do have these trays here. I'll give you a closer look. Those guys are just a whole bunch of succulents that I have been just saving, you know, the things that fall off the other ones that I have. And it's not going to be very long before I need these grow shelves. Real estate gets to be at a premium in a certain point, so I definitely can't have succulents taking away from all my starter plants. So I'm gonna try and do just like a little bit of TLC on those today, and then probably call it a day. I don't know if there's anyone else that has a similar problem, but I get very carried away with all my starter plants and anything that's like a food growing plant, and there are certain house plants that I just like totally neglect aggressively, like these couple of pots of succulents. They're long overdue for a update. I don't even know what's going on here, but good news is I have lots of succulents to fill the gaps with, so that is what I'm going to do. Because it's still mid-afternoon and there's lots of the day left, but I don't have a ton of energy left for high intensity work. I really like, just putzing with my plants. It's a really nice way to just wind down. I'm also not really interested in crashing on the couch today. It's just, I'm not in that place in my month where I need pure rest and reset after a day like this one. So a nice methodical meditative task like potting up my plants makes for a really nice, gentle nervous system reset. It's tactile, you're touching the soil, hands in the leaves, and it just really, really grounds me. Takes a lot of the energy out of my head after, analyzing alignments and sequencing, and I just get to put it into my hands. Also allowing myself the opportunity to work at this slowly, so just a little bit today, and then I'll come back at it another day instead of letting it be like a rush and urgent or stressful type task, which sometimes, planting and seed starting can be. Stella, hi. How's it going? Are you supervising? While this isn't my everyday, it is definitely my ideal day, which I try to cultivate as often as possible. I've got to move my body, my students have been supported, I've been nourished from my garden in the dead of the winter, and I've got to spend some time with my hands in the dirt. It's a lot, balancing teacher life with grower life, but they really do feed each other. One provides the movement, the other provides the nourishment, and both have meditative qualities within them, just woven throughout. Let me know in the comments, what is your favorite ritual for your high energy days? Do you head to your garden? Do you head to your mat? Maybe you've got another favorite thing that you like. I'd love to know. Okay, so those are the ones I potted, and clearly I have a whole bunch more that I need to find pots for, but I have to trudge through 4 feet of snow to get to my garden shed to get the rest of the pots, so I think that's tomorrow's problem. I'll just spruce these guys up, fill in the holes so I can start some more, and looks like I'm gonna be busy. Okay, so, well, for anybody else who gets really sore in your upper back from like doing this, I totally could have been sitting, but I wasn't. Yeah, after a day like today where I'm pretty like fatigued in my upper body and then doing this for the last like hour, I can definitely feel that a nice like passive release of my neck, shoulders, upper back would be really nice. I have a practice for that. If you guys are interested, I will link it. And yeah, for the gardeners, for the seed starters, or just whatever, anything where you're doing like this sort of like hunched over, it's really great to release. So thank you so much for sticking around through day in the life of yoga teacher, gardener, zone 3. Seed starting right now is a little bit on the slow side, but as you saw, I'm kind of just trying to like make room, except I'm not really doing a very good job of making room. I think I've just like filled up more space in my house with plants, but that's how it goes. Till next time.